welcome back to the final heat of the starting 64. We've had a really interesting contest so far. We're whittling it down to the surviving 32 next week, and this will be our final hour of the starting 64. And we have the legend himself for you judging. We have Nolan Bushnell, who is coming in from LA. He's taken an hour out of his life to share it with you and to share his thoughts on these startups to help drive traction to them. Again, what we're all looking for is to get you, the home viewers, to sign up with these startups, try out their products, and bring your friends so they can see them. And we can get 100,000 plus users by May 1st for some of these startups, if not all of them, because that's the real thing. This is a community of people helping startups, so it's startups helping startups. We do that by rewarding you with BeInToo gamification points that you can redeem through B-Dollars in the marketplace. So we want to thank BeInToo, we want to thank WeVideo, we definitely want to thank Hacker Dojo. So if we are ready, and I'll ask the crew here, if we're ready, we're going to go straight into, let me tell you who we've got. We've got Nolan Bushnell, we've got Jim Burns of TransPower. He's got Hackerspace down in San Diego, so if you're down in San Diego, you definitely want to check out what he's doing there. We've got Eve Richter from City of Austin. She's there driving startups to Austin because they're trying to take over Silicon Valley to be the leader of Tech Haven, and they're doing really good. If you've ever at South by Southwest, there's 350,000 people, I think, ascended on that city for startups. And then we also have Tom's Slackhouse of startup advisors. And so if you're a startup and you need help navigating the waters, that's Tom. Tom has proven himself as a very worthy captain of a ship to drive you through that. So you can find him at Startup Advisors. We will have him up on the website here shortly, so you can go to his LinkedIn. All right, so we have the startups we're going through today are going to be first, I believe we're going to have Visual T. We're going to have Shout Plans. And we're going to have O-Logic. And I'm pausing for the moment. And we're pausing, and we're pausing. Okay, we just need to take a quick note to tell Chad that nothing's wrong. We're going to take away your what's called taking away your voice, where you go off a camera. We will give it back to you when it's your turn. So don't click on anything until you see a icon pops up in the middle that says click yes or no. You want to click yes, but that'll be when it's your turn. So if we're up, and he just clicked yes. You don't want to jump back in yet, Chad. If you can hear me. Please hang out, watch what's going on, listen to what's going on, and we'll bring you in when it's your turn, okay? So, if we are ready, are we ready in the studio to start our contestants going, or do we have? All right, we are ready. Again, we're going to thank Nolan. We're going to take some time with him in a minute, but we're going to whip through the contestants now. So, Brian, you have 2 minutes, starting now. Go.
Great. I'm Brian from Alice, and I wanted to let everybody know about our project today. What we're doing is augmented reality. We've been involved in augmented reality for 3 years. You don't know what that is. It's basically the yellow line on the football field in the telecast. Takes what the camera sees and adds a graphic overlay, whether it's a video game or whether it's a graphic, but anything you've ever seen in a movie that's graphics can be added to this. Now, in the past, we've done it for advertising, and to bring a static brochure or some type of picture to life, whether it's a poster. But what we're doing at Visuality is we've added it to T-shirts. And we've got a contract with Disney, and we are opening an e-commerce site where everybody can get this. Now, we did a Kickstarter project where you could take a local artist and we could get them involved with this augmented reality. It's pretty expensive technology, so what we wanted to do is make this available to everyone. The Kickstarter project that we're doing is raising money. We're going to have a contest similar to this where a local artist can submit a design. We'll put it on a T-shirt. And basically how it works is you download our app, you point your iPhone at the T-shirt, and then it comes to life. And you can play a game, and you can take a picture with characters, and you can share it on Facebook. It's a really neat concept, and a lot of people are starting to catch on to it. And a lot of people haven't seen it either. So what we want to do is we want to make it available to everyone. It's very limited out there right now, and it's very interesting. And if you don't really know what it is, you can watch our video at Visualitee.com. It's Visualitee.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was your 2 minutes. And now we're going to the 5 minutes of Q&A. Just so Nolan can get his feet on the ground, I'm going to start with Eve and let her ask the first question. And we're going to go to Nolan and let him ask whatever he wants second, because I can see the wheels turning right now and the smoke going.
Are you selling these now?
We haven't started yet. We get our first inventory shipment on Monday, and our website goes with a soft opening for friends and family Monday, and then we open April 21st will be our first day we start selling.
I assume the revenue is just the sale of the T-shirts, not the app. And that's your entire revenue model?
The entire revenue model, not necessarily. We actually today signed our first, not really an independent artist. This is a pretty big brand that we signed, and we will actually own that brand. So if that goes to major retail, we'll actually be receiving royalties from creating the augmented reality experience for that brand. And we want to continue to do that, and hopefully if some of these get picked up by major retailers, we'll be able to participate on a revenue model as well.
Nolan, what do you want to say about this?
Yeah, on the T-shirt, is it a sort of a standard fiducial or SRS code? No, what is the
QR code.
The regular QR code.
That's the beauty. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
That's the beauty of what we're doing. You no longer need a QR code anymore. We can take any design and we can program that as the trigger. Once you open our app and the camera sees that, I mean, I have, I'm going to show you this real quick. I have our company shirt on. For example, our company shirt, the Visuality shirt, in about 1 week is going to have its own experience as well. So you no longer need the ugly QR code. I've got a shirt with a picture of an animal on the front, and when it sees it, he comes to life, blinks his eyes, you can take it and put it on somebody's head and share it on Facebook.
Do you think an attractive girl is going to like to have you playing a game on her shirt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
See, look at Eve. She's already into it.
So we have Jim Burns. Do you have any questions for Brian about Visual 2? James. He might have audio issues. Tom, do you have any questions?
Yes, I'm still trying to connect the dots a bit here. So if I walk up to someone on the street and they have a T-shirt, do I just start looking at it through my device to see if it's a Visual T-shirt, or they invite me to do that, or what's the dynamic there?
What is going on right now in version 1.0 is that they are knowing that they have the T-shirt. They're getting their friends to get involved with that. I mean, for the Disney stuff, it's mostly entertainment. Well, when it comes to advertising, you're taking a T-shirt that's a standard giveaway, and now I can look at that shirt. and I'm going to tell everybody about it because it does something cool. You know, an airplane flies out of it or a car drives out of it. And it can be 3D models, just about anything.
Is it the same app for everyone, or can it be personalized somehow to the person that's wearing it?
Version 2.0, there's some personalized stuff coming out right now. And we're working on even some things in the future where these guys, these gamers that spend hours and hours on their avatars, you'll have a standard shirt, and once you look at it through the phone, you'll be able to see their avatar and know what games they play and things like that. We see a tremendous upside to that part of it as well coming in the future.
Excellent. Nolan, do you have any more questions about the way you play games on somebody's shirt?
I really like the whole augmented reality world, and I feel like it's one of those businesses and business models that are trying to figure it out. We think it's all going to be very, very large, but nobody has gotten anything that's been really viral yet, and I hope this one is.
Nolan, if you're using the mic off your headset, you might want to move it up just above your nose, because it'll make everybody hear you better. Just tilt it up a little.
Okay. They said before that I was a little hot, so I...
Yeah, tilt up the mic a little bit more. Just get it right above your nose almost. Right under your eye. Yeah. Now,
this better?
Yes. Now, if you want to answer that question. If there is a question.
What was the question?
I was just, I think that was for Brian, had a question. All right, we're going to, if there wasn't a question there, we need to move on to the portion that's the feedback.
Can I get a question in now that my audio is working?
Jim,
we can hear you now.
We can hear you.
Great, great. I wanted to ask if there are elements of this idea that are interactive with the user in real time, the wearer of the shirt. Much like a Wii or other input that the whole body could contribute to, hand motions, that sort of thing.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to do this. Yes, you can work with that. I mean, depending on how much money you want to spend, that's really been the prohibitive thing right now. You know, the company that I actually work for doing augmented reality, we've done some big projects, first-person shooter games that you play in the environment that you're in through the phone. So kind of the key is the social share and the interactivity, and really anything you've ever seen in a video game can be done. It's just a matter of getting the costs down to where we can amortize it over the units that are being sold.
Yeah. Eve, do you have an open speaker there? Because it seems to be echoing back through your channel. I can see your channel going when I talk.
I don't.
Okay.
No open speakers here.
Okay. Anyway, that was now it's supposed to be the feedback time. So we're not we're in about a minute into your feedback time.
Does that mean
you have some feedback on? Go ahead.
Does that mean it has to squeal? That's usually what feedback means to me. But
well, that means that you all are supposed to tell him how to improve his pitch, how to what you would do with this to make it better, to make it more appealing for people to buy the T-shirts, invest in the company, whatever it is.
I guess I'll go since I gave the first question. I know it's probably difficult to do a demo, but if you could give sort of a, like, this is what it would look like video thing, that would be cool. I'm going to give it a 4. You've got partners, and you clearly described it. You're personable. It's a good pitch. You described the, I would want to know how big that market is. It seems like it's a novelty, maybe. I don't know how that's going to take off. Like Nolan said, where is it going to be for this technology? But it's cool. You definitely get the cool factor points.
Thank you.
So, Tom, do you have any feedback, and then we want your score.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear any statement as to whether he's looking for money or that aspect of it. And maybe he's not, which is fine. I would appreciate a little bit more of a story about, I'm walking down, and this shirt, a use case. You know, somebody who actually, one of the brands that actually used it and what they did with it, and, you know, make it a little bit more visual in spite of the fact that it's all verbal. I'll give you a 3.5.
And Jim, could you give some feedback here, and then we'll end with Nolan and your score from 1 to 5.
Well, I was going to hope to get some feedback to Nolan. I was hoping to get what he's smoking, because there's nothing here that is making me as excited and interesting to watch as what he's doing there. Beyond that, I would have to say that I would like to hear more about the underlying economics of what's going on here, the price of shirts, and maybe a bit more about the Disney contract you have, what sort of startup position you're in now with funds spent, how long it's been going. You can't do that and get a demo in. If you can talk like in New York, or maybe you get both those in your next pitch and flesh it out a bit more. So I think 3.5 is my score.
And Nolan, if you could round it up.
I feel like you need to really rehearse your pitch. I think that it wasn't tight. It didn't have a lot of the business issues that I would like, and it didn't tell me that it was compelling. I like the technology, you know, but there's a lot of it out there, and I didn't hear why you thought that your embodiment of it had a potential of really going viral. Doing things just with your friends limits your market to about 50 usually, because even though, you know, you may have 5,000 Facebook friends, they're all over the world. And so, you know, I don't like businesses that focus too much on your local group, and that's kind of what I've heard. And I think you need to be more clear on that. And I would give you a 3.
Awesome, awesome. So we got 2 3.5s, a 4, and a 3. And I will say that your video on our site has caught a lot of attention. It's really cool watching the monster go off of the guy's chest in that, and playing the drums right there in front of you when there's nothing. That is really, really cool. If you could get more of that in your pitch, it'd be awesome. But everybody that wants to try out, I believe Brian has a Kickstarter page for Visual T, and we want to get him 100,000 people to go to his Kickstarter page and help him out, because it's a really good thing he's doing. Thank you, Brian, and we hope to see you in the next round.
Great, thank you, I appreciate it.
Excellent. So we're bringing in the next guest. Well, we're actually kicking Brian out first. So yeah, you can get more on Visual T. You can help him out with his Kickstarter page on AgoraStartupIdol. Go to his profile and click on subscribe. It'll take you straight to their Kickstarter page, and you can help them out on Kickstarter and hopefully get some of those T-shirts in that app, because it's a really cool app. So next we have Chad from Shout Plans.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? I don't think you can see me.
Okay. Now what we want you to do, Chad, is go up to the gear in the upper right. There's like a little circle gear-looking thing.
Yep.
I want you to switch it over to avatar, and then switch it back over to video, and it should show you your camera, and you should come in.
Ah, detecting camera. That's good. All right. So then go back to the video now.
Okay. Yes, you have your video now.
That worked out well. Can you wait? Let's see if it's mood lighting or no. All right. Hey.
Oh,
how's everyone doing?
You don't have his video now.
No, you don't. You can't see me?
Oh no. Now you have to do the avatar thing. I think we just had a glitch. So go up and click on the avatar, and then click on and then click on the video. We'll give him a few seconds to do that.
You guys see me?
No, we do not have your video.
Because I see myself.
You see yourself?
I do see myself.
Good. Can you kick out the last guest all the way? Remove him from the conference totally. Okay. Well, Chad, we're having a little bit of difficulty here, but we can hear your pitch, and that's what this is all about. It's not about the visuals. It's about hearing your pitch and having them give you feedback.
Perfect.
So if you'd like, you can start your 2 minutes starting now.
Awesome. All right, guys. So the company that I have been working on for the past year with 2 other people, it's called Shout Plans. And what it is, it's a social planning platform that makes it super easy and casual to plan activities with other people that want to do the same thing as you at the same time. So what I mean by that is if I wanted to go skiing, who else among my friends, strangers, and acquaintances also want to go skiing at the same time? The site was built, and it also has a mobile application as well. The site was built because I wanted to get a drink after work, and I reached out to my closest friends, which is usually the people that you would do something with. And if they're unavailable, you're likely to not do what you want to do. And what I thought was, well, I've been in this town for 7 years, so why don't I know more people that are wanting to do the same thing as me at the same time? So what we did is we created this idea of shouting out your plans and finding other people that want to do the same thing as you at the same time. So if you think about Foursquare, Foursquare is about, and if you don't know what Foursquare is about checking in to a specific location at a specific time. So, hey, I am at this bar right now, or I'm at this concert. What we're doing is we're all about the future. We're trying to build the intent graph. So instead of saying where you are, it's where you want to go. Facebook's about what you like. We're trying to be what you want and what your plans are. And one of the things that we're doing really interesting, actually we're filing a provisional patent, which we have filed, is how we're approaching events. So we're taking this whole casual activities and we're actually putting it into the event system. So how an event on Facebook works is, and for pretty much any other event site, is it works with, if you're going to go to an event, you're only going to see the people that are attending that event. So you're going to see all of the RSVP list. However, that really doesn't help you create a plan because you're just seeing this static list of people. What we're doing is actually taking that granularity and we're adding it a little bit more. So now you can actually see the various plans that are happening and easily connect with others that want to do the same thing as you at the same time.
That would be your time.
Awesome.
All right. So, shall we start with Nolan? Do you want to start asking the question?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think that it's a good idea. I think that, the issue now is things competing for my time, and I like the idea of casual meetups of like-minded people. And I think that if you can get any kind of virality going, this could be a nice product. I think I'd actually use it because I like to go on bizarre adventures, and a lot of times it's fun to go with like people. I would like to know that they're smart and clever and witty, but I guess you can't do a filter for that.
Well, we actually pull your Facebook information in the registration, so you can actually, it kind of has a little bit layer built over Facebook too to help with that virility, which definitely helps, and and it helps with the registration process as well. So that's nice.
Okay.
Jim, do you have a question for Chad? James? Tom, do you have a question for Chad?
If you could go to somebody else, I'm still trying to get my audio working well enough to. Can you hear me?
Understood.
Yeah.
Tom, do you have?
Yeah. So I want to go get a beer, but I want to go get a beer and talk about something specific. Does the system allow me to control that aspect of it, and like Nolan mentioned, how do I find people that I actually want to go have a beer with versus just anybody?
Well, so we will sort it by relevance originally. So like if you have friends that want to grab a beer at the same time as you, we're automatically going to show you those first because that's probably going to be the people that you want to grab a beer with. But what we can do is, which is really awesome, is if you want to grab lunch in the city, you're in New York, you're probably just going to grab lunch by yourself. But let's say you want to do entrepreneurship with your lunch. You can tag entrepreneurship as an interest. So now you've just created this networking and any type of possibility that you really want for now your lunch. So instead of getting lunch by yourself, which you would probably do, well, now you can actually connect it to something productive.
Excellent. Excellent. Eve.
Have you heard of a company called Forecast?
Absolutely.
Are you different from Forecast in any way?
Absolutely. So what Forecast, and I don't think this is the right way of doing it, and that's why we're not taking this approach, is Forecast you need to know where you're going to be at a later point in time. It's still limited to location. So I'm going to go to that bar tonight. What we're doing is we're helping you curate that plan. So I want to grab a beer. I want to go skiing. You don't necessarily know where you want. It's more of a pre-check into an activity versus a location. And then we'll help you curate those plans by adding also that event aspect as well to it, with the plan.
Revenue model. What's your revenue model?
So by building this intent graph, it's going to be commission-based with affiliate marketing, because we're going to be pulling in event information. So people are going to be linking straight to our sites from various different places. It's all built out into the system. So there's a 15% commission right there, as well as similar to Foursquare, where you can check into a location and get all these tips and advertisements and all that various things. What we're doing is actually more productive because we're getting people before the decision-making process. So imagine saying, I want to go skiing, and then we serving up 3 deals that involve buy one, get one free skiing, where they can just purchase a group deal that we can pull in from Groupon's API and also get that affiliate marketing, and which is more effective because they haven't made a decision yet. So now we're actually providing this plan and really getting them to be able to use this Groupon or any other daily deal site, because those aren't social networks.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Anybody have the question? We've actually got about 5 seconds left. We can go into the feedback.
I'll throw one in just quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wondered if you'd made any plans or thought about matchmaking, dating, the male-female element of that sort of thing that pre-sells a lot of events for bachelors and young men like yourselves who work too hard.
Absolutely. So just like, for example, one of our icons is a heart. So imagine I want to go on a date on Friday. Well, now I can say on our site, okay, date for a restaurant, and maybe interest is like love or whatever you tag that interest is. So now you can actually serve up people that want to go on dates at a specific time you know are available. You still have to have that request and approval process, so you're not just, no one knows where you're going to be. So you still have that anonymity. So it's not like people, oh, that person's going to be at this restaurant. So you can still curate a date as well if you want. And obviously sex sells, so that underlying sexual appeal helps with virility.
We're into your feedback section, and we want to go and get some valid input from our judges here. So, Jim, do you want to go first? James, do you want to go first?
Well, again, not being familiar with the market space as well as some other people on the board, I have to say I like the idea a lot. I see a lot of potential there that isn't being met. So in my naive judgment, I would certainly connect with this if it were available, and I encourage you with a 4.
Give him a 4.
Thank you.
Tom? you're on the top of my screen, so I'm going to go to you next.
Okay, go with me. So here's where I have to separate the pitch from the idea. I like the idea as well. I think there's a lot of potential there. I would use it. The pitch I found stated the idea and then sort of restated it and restated it. Now I would prefer to see you talk a little bit about what you're trying to do in terms of monetizing it and so forth. I give it a 4.
Excellent. And Eve?
I guess I should preface this. I think I've seen this idea once a semester. It just seems to pop up. So there must be a need for it in the space because people think of it a lot. So I've seen a lot of them not work out. So it may be various executions, and you have to get an enormous amount of adoption and a lot of people using the same platform when there are so many things out there. Plancast, Forecast, Facebook, you know, all the Twitter. People have so many ways of broadcasting information, getting them to adopt a new one. And getting to your secret sauce quicker in your pitch and your revenue model, which didn't come up at all, I think would be beneficial. And just in terms of the business itself, I just caution. Like I said, I feel like I've seen this one. I could almost give this pitch because I've seen it enough times. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.
A 3?
Eve, I have a question.
3?
Am I able to interject with a question to Eve or no?
You can reach me offline.
Okay.
Oh, did you give it a 3, Eve?
Yes.
3, excellent. And now, for one and only.
I have problems with businesses that say, when we get big, we're going to be great, with little sort of gloss over of how you're going to get big. Customer acquisition cost in this business is massive. And I always feel like that's the big block. And like Eve says, there's a lot of things that are close that haven't hit enough to the critical mass, which I think is the major risk here. I thought the pitch was good, it was professional, it was clear, it was sparse. Again, I echo what my fellow judges said, is that I think you could have used your time better by going into a little more of your revenue detail and the customer acquisition costs and how you're going to create virality at the very early stage was a glaring loss for me. And I'd give it a 3.5.
3.5 from Nolan Bushnell. That's pretty good. You've done a few startups in the past, right, Nolan?
Well, I have, and that getting over that first 6 month to a year hump where you're sure that everybody's going to love it, and all you've done is you've drained the well of your friends.
Excellent, excellent. So we are now out of time for that. We really appreciate your time, Chad, and we hopefully will see you in the next round.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Chad.
Thank you much. We're going to exit you totally out of the conference and bring in.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you. And now we're going to bring in O-Logic, I believe, Ted Larson. All right, so if you like what you heard from Social Logic, please go to their profile page, look over their information, go subscribe, go to their site, sign up, and if you really like it, bring all your friends because they could use 100,000 users as well. So now we're going to Ted. Ted, we're going to try to get your video in.
Okay. Somebody's here helping.
That's good. We actually, Ted was able to drive up from, he made a real long trip to actually come to our studio audience. He came all the way from Sunnyvale, and for those of you that don't know, that's about 5 minutes from here.
About.
About. Yeah. But he brought some cool toys with him, and we really wanted to get them in the studio. So
we're gonna. He's still cranking on my computer here. I think we're going. So yeah, we'll show some cool toys after the whole thing goes.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see.
All right, so
Is it?
Were you at CES this year?
I was. Did you see me?
I think we're live. Ted. So why don't we take Ted without picture if we have to, and then there we are. Yay!
Great.
Great.
Okay, so I'll just jump right into it.
You have 2 minutes, starting now. Go.
Okay, my name is Ted Larson, and I'm with Ologic, and our basic idea is that we're trying to revolutionize consumer robotics using smartphones and tablets. We have been in the design business for the last 5 years, designing products for consumer electronic companies and toy people. Our customers are Hasbro, Disney, Google, Mattel, and we shipped a product through licensing. We've done a bunch of licensing deals with existing technologies that we've sold. The most successful device that we've designed to date is a toy called the Star Wars Force Trainer, and it's a toy where you wear a brainwave headset and it reads your brain, and you levitate a ball in a tower while Yoda talks to you and gives you tips on how to be a better Jedi. And you've probably seen it. You can buy it at Toys R Us or Costco or a variety of outlet stores. And we've spent a lot of time designing products for others, but never really for ourselves. We're really good at designing this stuff, and so we decided, hey, gee, there's a few products that we've done for others or started for others, and it didn't quite go all the way to the end shelf. And we thought, these things are really cool, and why don't we take them and bring them to market ourselves under our own brand? So we're trying to pivot the company right now towards moving towards a sell under our own brand. One of them I have here right in front of me. It's a dock that you snap your smartphone into, and it turns it into an autonomous critter. And so you can see the little, there we go, there's the little app. And the phone can get up and down and drive around, and it has a cutesy little character that it operates with on the screen. There he is. And we're running a Kickstarter right now as well to try to promote it. And our revenue model is going to be through selling these products through big box retail.
Awesome.
And
that's
pretty much it. Yeah.
So you're on Kickstarter. That's great.
Yes.
Nolan, you look intrigued. I want to start with you on the questions.
Well, first of all, I love robots, everything about robots. You know, my wife threatens to have me take a 12-step program on robots, but they're addictive. I saw your product at CES. I thought it was cute and fun. I think that you've got something. What I wasn't clear about is the level of censoring that you had for occlusion avoidance and things like that. It appeared that it was just a motive platform. And could you clear that up a little bit for me?
Yes. So the basic platform has no sensors on it. It uses the sensors in the phone. So there are things like the camera in the phone, the accelerometer in the phone, the gyro in the phone. So the idea is to utilize as much of the hardware that's in the phone rather than having to add it as a sensory add-on. But since we launched this Kickstarter, we realized people want sensors. So we have a couple of different sensors that we've added, like a line sensor and an avoidance sensor and some other items, as well as we've added software from some of the most advanced robotics R&D projects like Ross from Willow Garage. And that's going to allow this smartphone to be the robot to be the most advanced tabletop robot in the world, primarily through the use of some of these really advanced R&D projects.
Excellent. That you filled the hole that I saw.
Okay. Eve, do you have a question?
Are you seeking funding, or are you just profitable and selling your products?
So our R&D outsource model is already profitable, but making a product that goes onto a retail shelf is hugely capital intensive. So we're trying to raise a Series A right now to do that.
Do you have other products than this one? Is this just one example?
This is one example. We have another robot that's a two-wheeled self-balancing music player that follows you around, and you can stream your music to it. And I think we're going to show it on the after-show thing. It was also at CES. Very cool.
Excellent. Tom, do you have any questions?
You know, I really don't. I like the product. It looks like a lot of fun, and you know, I could see you selling it. I'm not expert on mass consumer marketing through big box stores, so I couldn't add a lot of value there. But you know, it looks pretty fun.
James, do you have any questions for Olaji?
Cool.
James?
Sure, yes. My wife actually bought the Jedi Mind Trainer, and I failed miserably. My mind is untrained.
Cool. Glad you bought it.
So is that a question?
A little bit of lag here. I wanted to ask if there were any aspect. No, I wanted to ask if there was some aspect of this product line intended for robot-to-robot interactivity. The swarm robot concept is developing fairly naturally as a military application, and I'm thinking that there's got to be some home consumer play network going to grow up about having robots play with each other.
Again, that's one of the reasons why, from a technology perspective, we've embraced this robotic operating system from Garage. It uses a publish-subscribe methodology where you can publish topics from your robot, and either other people or other robots can subscribe to those topics to interact. So sensors and things like that can be shared amongst a whole group of robots that are operating on the same wireless network. So that's one of the reasons we've embraced that, and we think, yes, there's definitely that capability. It's just an issue of writing a smartphone app that'll make it do it. And then the hardware and the software infrastructure is all there to accommodate it.
The follow-on then is are you going to make this an open source or be negligent in keeping it from being hackable? Because most of the toys that have really taken off in recent days, and a lot of the hackerspace activity is based upon components that can be taken over by the user and taken in a direction that you may not be able to do yet.
Yes, absolutely. So the electronics, everything is as open as we can conceivably make it. The electronics, the only barrier on the electronic side is we are a made-for-iPod licensee from Apple. So this smartphone dock can support either iPhone or Android. And there's some limitations that Apple puts on you as far as open sourcing your hardware. But within those guidelines, yes, everything's open.
Awesome. Well, we're out of time for the questions and answers, unless somebody really wants to answer. And you can probably tune in. We're going to take a probably 5-minute break when we're done here for the studio wrap-up show. But feedback. Jim, can you start with the feedback for Ted on his pitch and how to make it better?
Sure. You know, I guess the only thing I would suggest in terms of content is that it seemed that you could have fit a few more items into the pitch itself. It was going good for about 2/3, and then it slowed up. And there's many more details to talk about, but I think you sort of in your mind lost in your own story, which is a good one. So it's just a matter of getting much more solid on the kind of feedback we're giving and figuring out what hot buttons you can stuff into the last third. Feedback-wise, you know, one of those you're going to Hollywood kind of a things here. 4.5 for sure.
Thank you.
Excellent. 4.5. And Tom.
You had to ask me next, didn't you? You had to ask me next. Yeah, I guess I would just reflect that some of the questions that came up could have been answered in the pitch. The open sourcing, monetization, you know, how big a business do you expect this to be? How much investment are you looking for? I know it's on the Kickstarter program, but save me the trouble of going to Kickstarter to find out. I'll give it a 4.
4 for Tom. And Eve.
I love toys. I can't help it. I just love toys. But so I would say echo what Jim said, which is get to the toys, more of the toys. It's good background that you have the profitable business model to if that's going to if it matters to this part of your business. But the fact that you've been so successful, you've got a lot of big names, you've got a lot of credibility. You know, and I love that it's open source. That's terrific. But yeah, show us more stuff and tell us what you're going to do with it and where you're going to sell it. And I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, Nolan, you've had a few robots in your past.
Yeah, like I say, I'm totally in the tank. I love this stuff. I think you've done the technology excellently, and you clearly have some gravitas in the issues of dealing with the toy business in all its permutations and bizarreness. I agree. I think that you could have brought in some of these things in your pitch, but I thought it was small. Like I say, I'm totally in the tank, so I'm going to give you a 4.75.
4.75 from Nolan. That is awesome. That is awesome. So
I've actually got some ideas for you. We should talk offline.
Sounds great.
We'll get you two in touch with each other, and I've got another robotic type thing that you'll like that kind of marries back to the Atari days. Hopefully we'll show that here next week. But Ted's going to be around for the wrap-up show. We're going to take a short break after this to get set up for the wrap-up show. Now, Nolan, you had your first experience with Startup Idol. Can you give a few words to everybody of what you thought? And when are we going to get you in the studio here up in Mountain View?
Well, you'll get me up there soon, I hope. I love the whole idea of startups. I want to point out to everybody that I think that the legislation that was signed into law yesterday is a game changer for us. I think it is going to enable startups in a new way, making it easier to crowdfund, selling stock. I think that there will definitely be a couple of years window, and then all the frauds and flakes will climb in and mess it up a little bit, because when you're selling pieces of paper for money, there'll be some bad guys play. But until that happens, I think you know, if they're passing the hors d'oeuvres, you should take one.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you all so much, and you know, I just don't know how to. You all have made the show. All the contestants, and especially the judges, and Nolan being a part of this, really is making this go well. We expect to have more of Nolan and more of Eve and more of Jim and more of Tom. And we're definitely going to get more of Ted here in a few minutes. But thank you all so much. It's been an interesting week, getting a lot of the bugs out of our system for the starting 64. And we will announce the winners here shortly and get to the surviving 32 starts next week, 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And we only have 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, to get 32. So thank you very much. We're going to go off air for just a few minutes while we the wrap-up show.